Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, I'm actually feeling inspired to talk about twin flames, and specifically, if you are someone on a twin flame path, how to get your twin flame to communicate with you in the physical world. Twin flames are the most energetically based connection, meaning that if someone is your twin flame, you and that particular physically incarnated soul share the same core soul frequency. Because you share the same core soul frequency, by the law of attraction, which states like attracts like, the two of you are constantly being pulled together in the quantum realm. You exist in the same space energetically from a quantum perspective. This is why very often when you are with your twin flame, you will feel as though time, space, and distance are completely irrelevant. They can almost feel as though they are dissolving away. This is because the place where you and your twin flame connect is completely timeless and completely formless. And that is a result of the fact that your energetic communication with your twin flame is 99% of how the two of you are communicating. In some cases, even more than that. There are twin flames where one twin is physically incarnated, whereas the other is staying behind, so to speak, in the higher realm in order to guide from that different vantage point. And they are still able to consciously interact or communicate with each other purely from energetic modes of communication. But for most of you listening to this video, I'm guessing that for the majority listening, you and your twin flame are both simultaneously physically incarnated at this time. But know that even though you are both physical, most of your communication is occurring in the space where you are still spiritual. We all have aspects to ourselves, multiple aspects, which is what we mean when we say that we are multi-dimensional beings. We ourselves are limitless, and although we are experiencing this particular concrete physical reality on a specific timeline, we actually are simultaneously existing energetically in all potentials and in all dimensions, times, and places at the fifth dimensional level, at this higher self level. So twin flames are very multidimensional as well. They are capable of connecting with each other on every single possible timeline through any possible dimension. They are essentially unlimited in the ways that they can connect and communicate. That is also what makes this connection very unique, because we often talk about timelines on this channel. And of course, we aren't going to do a deep dive on timelines here. That would take a while. But essentially, a timeline is a life trajectory based on your current frequency. And most people who aren't on a spiritual awakening path, who are living very unconsciously, will lock into a very specific frequency bandwidth and will be unconsciously trapped there because they won't be aware that they are actually consciously creating their reality, that they have the ability to consciously align with a different timeline. And because they are unaware of this, they will unconsciously live this singular timeline trajectory But you who have aligned with this video are more than likely someone who is on a path of spiritual awakening. Therefore, you recognize at some level of your being that you are the conscious creator of your life and that time doesn't limit you. So you are actually, in a sense, a timeline traveler. You are able to travel between timelines based on how you choose your frequency. So when you embody a particular frequency that is the vision of something new for yourself and your life, it connects you with a different timeline that has its own set of new trajectories out into the future. This can also be why the path of spiritual awakening has an element of loneliness to it, because you are someone that is constantly shifting through different timelines, different realities, essentially different dimensions. And only those who share a connection with you at a spiritual level are typically able to follow you through these different timelines. When someone is closely related to us at a soul level, regardless of the physical circumstances, we tend to remain connected. And these connections become extremely conscious once we have conscious interactions in the physical world. So if you are someone who has connected with this video, you are most likely one who is very selective about who you have in your life. And this at times might lead to loneliness, but ultimately, this is allowing you to connect more quickly and intimately with your soulmates and, of course, with your twin flame as well, who is part of your soul family, but a very unique connection within that soul family where you not only have a similar core soul frequency, but it's actually exactly identical. So I know that this has been a lot of background, but it's actually essential in a roundabout way for leading up to how you can get your twin flame to communicate with you in the physical 3D world. Now, this process I'm describing here will work regardless of whether you and your twin flame have connected in the physical world. But the first thing to keep in mind is that you must surrender everything related to concrete attachments and expectations around what you think of as timing, the amount of time it takes for your twin flame to reach out or for this process to work, quote unquote, is truly irrelevant because it's about energy alignment and not about time, just as is the case with all manifestation. And this is the hardest thing for us to release as humans because we are so bound and often so limited by the concept of time. But do know that this process can, and technically in the quantum realm, is working instantaneously. However, depending on your level of resistance or alignment energetically, you will manifest results from it faster, or it might take more time. I've known of cases where someone has put this intention out into the universe and done a process similar to this and thought that it didn't work, but then their twin flame actually ended up breaking up with a karmic partner and then reaching out via email, by the way, because they didn't even have each other's numbers 6 months later. So I'm telling you that because of how connected you and your twin flame are, doing this process consistently and keeping your energy as clear and aligned and high vibrational as you can will ultimately lead to some kind of an outcome here. But it is so necessary to release those timing expectations. So essentially, the process here is to send a telepathic signal to your twin flame by not attempting to connect with them or communicate with them in the physical 3D world, but actually to connect with their higher self. In fact, in these cases, as ironic as it sounds, the more access your twin flame has to you in the physical 3D world, the more present and available you are, whether that's through social media posts, whether it's through you trying to contact them, trying to connect with them consciously, the less effective this technique will be, and often the longer it takes. This is because very often in a twin flame connection, the less spiritually awakened twin, which in this case most likely is the other person here, you are most likely what we would think of as the awakened twin, although these are just labels because technically speaking, you are both mirroring each other energetically, but oftentimes one twin will process the energy more slowly because they are more open in the lower chakras, which carry an energy that vibrates at a slower rate, whereas the other twin, typically the divine feminine, vibrates at a higher rate because they are more oriented to the upper chakra centers and therefore metabolizes or processes the energy more quickly. So it can look like often the divine masculine, so to speak, is awakening slower and the divine feminine is awakening faster. But again, this is kind of just a 3D perception because of how energy is processed differently by the divine masculine and the divine feminine. But anyway, that was just a bit of an explanation there. And I just saw the number 1144 on the clock. Of course, this relates to the number 144, which many connect to the 144,000. I just thought I would mention that as well. But okay, let's get back to the way this process works. So the reason it can be slower if there is more physical 3D communication is because very often the so-called less awakened twin is still feeling that telepathic energy. Again, 99% of your communication is happening energetically, but they can convince themselves that they're only feeling that energy because they are hearing from you, or because you are in constant communication, or because they are seeing you so often on social media, or whatever the case is. It's almost like their conscious mind can use it as a bridge and kind of write it off by saying, okay, the reason I'm feeling all this energy isn't because there's necessarily a spiritual connection here. It's just because I am seeing this person or talking to this person all the time. This is why often when the divine feminine, assuming that you are the divine feminine here, of course, it may not be the case, but if you are, when you withdraw your energy or revoke access to you in the 3D from the divine masculine, very often this will actually cause them to feel all of that spiritual energy in more of an undeniable way. It's not that they're feeling the energy more, it's that they're feeling it the same amount, but now they don't have that same explanation for why they are thinking of you all the time, why they are seeing you in their mind, why they are wondering about you. Again, before they may have told themselves it was because you were so present in their life or reaching out to them or on their social media pages. So really, if there is a kind of 3D disconnect between you and your twin, it can be very powerful to revoke access to you in the physical from this person, not in some kind of a punishing or a harsh way, but really just to close off the access the other might have to you in 3D, particularly if you are feeling at all as though you are being written off, or you are feeling like you are being dishonored in some way because this person is not recognizing the connection. It can be very helpful to close off their access to you in whatever way you feel guided to that feels good to you, and to refocus all of that energy on yourself. So this is really the first step, and something that would be essential for the other steps to work is for you, if you're having, again, some kind of communication disconnect with this person and feeling as though they aren't understanding the connection, feeling frustration, the first step would be to really revoke any 3D access that is causing you to feel this sense of anxiety or confusion, and to really take that energy and invest it back into you. For some of you, this may look like deactivating some of your social media. This may be no longer following or reaching out to this particular person or looking up their social media pages. Eliminating that, what we sometimes call obsessive thinking, although it can be very difficult because of the intensity of the spiritual bond between you. Refocusing that energy on yourself is very powerful. And remember, it's not just about what you do in the physical world, it's also about the energy you're sending, the signal you're sending. So, for example, if you aren't necessarily following this person, but you're still constantly checking their social media every single day, they will still be feeling your energy heavy on them in a way that could actually be pushing them away, kind of like two magnets that are turned around the wrong direction and actually repulsing each other. But the way you reverse engineer that equation is by taking that energy and turning it back in yourself, truly committing to becoming the best version of yourself. Now, once you begin implementing some of these self-care practices, some of these daily routines that help you really bring you back to yourself, the way that you really send out that powerful energetic signal to your twin is by exclusively beginning to communicate with their higher self rather than their physical self. Now, the thing to remember about this is your higher selves are actually always connected 24/7 in the fifth dimension. So there is this constant open bond of telepathy between the two of you energetically. It's just that sometimes disconnect artificially in the physical 3D world can confuse us and therefore actually block us from accessing that true, pure, telepathic energy bond with our twin flame's higher self. So the way that you can connect with your twin flame's higher self is by, rather than focusing on what they are doing in the physical 3D world, focus on channeling the energy from your connection into something that is either creative or something that is energy clearing or that benefits you. So this could be doing a meditation and imagining yourself connecting with their higher self in a way that feels right or feels aligned for you. This could be writing music or creating art that's been inspired by your experiences with this connection. But again, the key here is that it's something that actually connects you with that higher energy within the connection, rather than focusing on the other person's physical 3D behavior, actions, or even their persona at the moment in the physical world. When someone feels that you are connecting with their higher version of themselves, it creates a very magnetic pull towards you. This is because subconsciously we all want to become and embody the best version of ourselves. So when someone feels that you are truly connecting with them at this higher energetic level, they will feel magnetically pulled towards you. And again, you can do this in whatever way feels right for you. For some of you, this could be meditation. This could be doing something creative, beginning to pursue a particular goal, dream, or vision. But the key is to take all of that energy that you're wanting to turn externally towards your physical twin flame counterpart and actually to turn it back into yourself or to something that is benefiting you and bringing you back into alignment with you. Remembering that your twin flame shares your core soul frequency, which means that when you are in that pure, open, and aligned space, when you are truly connected to yourself, that is when you are truly connected to your twin flame as well. and really aligning yourself with your highest vibrational timeline, which on that highest timeline, that is where you and your twin flame are capable of connecting consistently and in a harmonious way in the physical world. If that is what you desire, of course, you do have total conscious free will control of your life, creatively speaking. You are the creator here. So I always say, never forfeit your power, listen to your intuition, and you can manifest whatever outcome here feels right and aligned for you. And we all do have different forms of twin flame connections. We are on different waves and timelines, and of course have our own unique set of intentions. But I do hope that this video has been helpful and beneficial in helping to remind you that if you are in the middle of a twin flame connection that feels very external, the true connection and the true journey is actually a journey back to yourself. It's happening within you. Now, I spoke earlier on meditation being a powerful tool for connecting you with your twin flame's higher self, and I actually have my own tool to fast track this process as well. This is my subliminal meditation for twin flame 7 chakra clearing. This is a very deep, comprehensive energy clearing subliminal designed to clear out any blockages to unconditional love stored within any of your 7 chakra centers. And subliminals work because they contain affirmations targeted to the subconscious mind. And it's actually the subconscious that controls 95% of our thoughts, actions, and outcomes in life. So when we shift what's happening in the subconscious, we can actually begin to manifest very quickly. And I've seen evidence of this in my own life. I personally started using subliminals 5 years ago. And since then, I have seen the most profound results in all areas of my life. So I am now sharing my personal library of subliminals through my app, Sound and Soulful, which is now available in both app stores for download. And again, the subliminal I would most highly recommend if you are resonating with this video is my 7 chakra twin flame clearing. So the information about that is in the pinned comment and description box under the video. I am sending you all so much love today, wishing you the most beautiful remainder of your day. I appreciate all of you being here, co-creating with me on the channel. Of course, if my energy resonates with you, I do invite you to subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. Have a magnificent day, and I will connect with you here again in the next video.